Crafsman has been airbrushing the mess out of some vinyl. Look at this. If you would have told me I would have been airbrushing spray paint like this, I would have said, no, I don't do that. I use rattle cans. I use a paintbrush. But guess what I do now? I use me a manufactured airbrush. Now look at this thing. It's messy. The needle is bent on the end. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Sometimes I'll explain why that happens. It's in a bad shape. Why is that, Crafsman? Why would you do that? Because I want to go ahead and immediately take the pressure off for you. Now, I made an airbrush video in the past, okay? Some of y'all might remember, but that was focused on acrylic paint. I will say right now, a big reason I'm even using this airbrush is because I've switched completely to vinyl paint. But I'm getting besides the point already. Let's just back up a little bit. Let's boil it down to the bare essentials, because people start talking about needle juice and 0.5, 0.3. Let's forget everything. Go get you just a cheap, this right here, this is the iWater Neo. Recently, Hobby Lobby discontinued these, and you could get them for like $35 or something. But look how messy. Now, I am very much inspired by Go-To-San right here, who everybody who does soft vinyl pretty much knows this man right here. And I was paying attention to his very zen-like, very low-stress approach to painting, and it very much inspired me. And so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to show you how I'm able to get painting done, even though it looks like a mess. Let's just go clean this thing off right now. And to do that, it's such a nice day. See, we in the shop. Let's pan up and show everybody where we at. Spectacular. And then, yeah, Steady Crafting Studios. And then we come back to this right here. And then I'm going to magically, charm. Ooh. That I figured we would just bring it to the outdoors times. Yeah, baby. Outdoors times. Normally I use a spray booth with air suction, but today we're going to use a box fan. So let's talk about cleaning this thing. Crafsman, normally what I use is some Vinyl Wonder thinner, which is this right here. And I keep it in a little wash bottle. You can also use Mr. Tool Cleaner. Pretty cool stuff. I like it. This right here is very strong though. My main thing, I need to hook this up to our compressor. I'm just going to show you some of the basic aspects of it. I rarely take the thing all the way apart. You know, I just check my tip right there. That's our little needle. See that? We want to be careful not to bend that needle. We remove the needle back here with this little chuck. Watch this. So, look there, you can see Crafsman left some paint on it. Crafsman, you scallywag. I did that on purpose to teach y'all something. Come on. Let's clean this thing up. Ain't nothing to it. I got me a paper towel and something. Alright. I doubled up on my gloves because these are nitrile. This thinner will eat through nitrile. Slowly, but it will eat through nitrile. I'm going to put it the description, the recommended material for vinyl paint. All right. And when I go to put my needle back, I always index. That means I'm just going to find out where I'm pointing to, where I'm going, and lean it and just gently. No, you don't want any pressure, okay? Don't force it. See, just lightly. Now, I was telling you about my needle is bent. That's because a lot of times I'll go to like take the lid off, I'll go to do something and I'm holding it like that and I'm bending it. There's an end piece that comes with these that you can keep on it. I just don't have mine. Keep it on it all the time. Yeah. And then we just want to pull the needle back and make sure we're not bending. Like I said, it's okay that end of the needle is bent. You just don't want to bend the tip of it. All right. Now let me show you my very simple cleaning process, but first let's hook up a compressor. All right, so this is my airbrush compressor. More accurately, this is the compressor, this is the tank. You can buy a cheaper version that is just this, and it's just gonna be all the time. What this one will do is go till this gets charged, and then it cuts off. We can adjust our pressure right here and see what the pressure is right here. It's not turned on just yet, but I keep this around 20 psi's, okay? So let's go ahead and cut this thing on. All right, so I literally would just put me in some thinner and see if it'll even spray through. Sometimes it won't spray through. Then I just hold the front, pull, bubble it. And when I get it bubbled up, I don't spray it through because there's probably some little junks and things, little residue. I dump it into my catch container right there. All right, and all this is several sessions worth of thinner and cleaner, and literally I just dip the end of the nozzle. You're gonna see just how low tech this is, but me and you ain't like them other ones. We actually getting some paint done. All right, can you see that? That's what we want, a nice cone. Look, don't matter how dirty this thing is, we can see it spraying. That means we can spray. So let's don't freak out. Let's just go spray some paint. Come on. Now don't do like your friend Crafsman and just come in here and grab your vinyl and think, okay, I'm gonna go paint it, and then you handling it. Make you one of these little things right here. Don't handle your vinyl when you letting it dry. You need a place where you can, like, this is what I like to do. I like to not touch any of my painted surfaces. Look at that. And I can just delicately look. Boom, shock the locker. This is my favorite way to hold these types of things. You can spin it, you can hold it all kind of ways, and you still got a little gap right there where you can come in and just boom. And you don't want your work that you just did to get ruined, okay? So make you one of these with some kebabs and some scrap wood. Yeah. All right. And there we go. Now, this is our super helmet. All right, this goes on our Astro Chunk and Chibi Chunk figures. It's kind of inspired by, it's kind of a dual design. That's almost like aquatic, you know, like a deep sea diver. And that's almost like a visor, like a pilot helmet, you know, you can reverse it. I've also got another thing you can do where you cut it this way and put a face. That's a long story. Craftsman, you need to script your videos. No, I don't. That's just your opinion. This is what we're painting today. We're painting. Let's paint this helmet, y'all. I'm trying to paint this. Now for vinyl figures, and that goes for PVC because polyvinyl chloride and vinyl is essentially the same thing. You know, you can use Mr. Color, you can use Mad Ape. My favorite is Vinyl Wonder, especially the sprayable stuff. It's already thin. Like if you get that, you gotta, any of these, you gotta add your thinner to them. No big deal. It's just thick. But this right here, if you want to not clog your airbrush, yeah, we're gonna use some Vinyl Wonder. But we gotta pick some colors for this, and I'm going for a weathered patina. So we have Vinyl Wonder in quite a variety of very lustrous popping colors, fluorescence and all. Like you can get some buck wild, look at that, wow, just glowing. I don't think the video footage is going to do it justice. Real quick, let me just tell you, Vinyl Wonder actually came to me. I got a care package in the mail, like, hey, I noticed you're trying to paint toys and get paint to stick to toys, and he sent me these Glyos PVC figures. And that paint sure enough has stayed on there. But let's take a look at the colors we're going to use, because for these, where's the thing? It needs to be, oh, nice. All right, so this is our, like I was saying earlier, our Chibi Chunk figure. And, oh yeah, I'm gonna go with more like earthy tones, okay? Picture things like, I'm gonna be inspired by old machinery, industrial, old, even like old boat hulls and things like that, or shrimp boots might even play into it, who knows? So we've got some brown, maybe some silver. Sorry about the noise. I got some medium flesh right there. Yellow. I want to show you a trick with this yellow because it is notoriously hard to get yellow to be real opaque. And we're also going to mix up our own color. All right, look at that. That's gonna be kind of like our base, okay? We're gonna put that down and we're gonna go darker or lighter from that. In a previous episode, I showed y'all how to make these really dirt cheap paint masks that actually work surprisingly well, and they don't cost thousands of dollars. For today's figure project, I've also made some. Look at this, some yeah, man. My wife cut out the like the more intricate parts on her Cricut machine, and then I just did my foil around it. So hopefully we can get like some industrial like, you know, lettering and things like that. Yeah, I hope so. Hopefully it works. Well, as you can see, I've already sprayed it, so it does work. All right, so we've got a little bundle, small batch of figures here, ready, just about ready to paint. But these are gonna have visor inserts. I like to go ahead and do my cut, my open vents and things before I paint it. So it's very forgiving on your joint openings and things like that. You know, like that's gonna pop right on in there. But yeah. All right, so we've got them cut, and you've got your vinyl. Now, in general, you always want to prep your surface. All I do is take my vinyl 1 to thinner, the same stuff I clean my airbrush and mix into my paint. I'm going to take and not use a rag, because a rag can remove a lot of the gloss luster. So I like to take me a makeup sponge, all right, just squirt it, and we're just gonna, what this is gonna do is open up the vinyl substrate so that our paint job, even though steady crafting toys don't use release agents and grease and stuff like that, we just pop them right out the mold clean. You could paint it right out the mold. It is still going to make sure that that paint becomes a part of this vinyl toy, and that is tremendously what we want today. And we're just making sure that wherever we rub the vinyl, you don't want to kind of hold your fingers there. See, I'm holding, because it does kind of make the surface nice and receptive, almost slightly gummy. Not really gummy. If you use too much, it'll make it gummy. But yeah, we're gonna have a really durable paint job with this, and then the other techniques I'm gonna show you that's gonna really make it work. All right. First thing I normally do with the figure is do like a shadow and then like a highlight. It's already a white base, so I'm not gonna worry about a top highlight, but I wanted to do a black underlight. But look at that, see that right there? But yeah, so I went and took some gray right there and mixed it in with my black bottle and shook it up to give us kind of a little more darker, gray, a darker gray. Crafsman, you grammatical error making. Okay, so I like to shoot all to the side like that, and just make sure we're not going to, you know, make sure it's not spattering, make sure nothing crazy is happening. Now this is just kind of like a little undercoat, like I said. It's more for shading purposes. It's like a Zenfil highlight in the miniature community, they call it. And it gives you a nice, pleasant gradation there, you know, from light to dark. Pretty cool, like a built-in sunlight shadow. Let's spray the helmet. I'm using a dual action airbrush. That means I can vary the amount of airflow and paint liquid flow. So like that's just air going, I'm drying it out right there. And now I'm letting it fly with the paint. Yeah. Now let me show you the difference between an airbrush and a rattle can. That right there. So rattle can, airbrush. Now let me show you, this used to scare me. I used to be like, oh, I gotta break my airbrush down before I change to a new color. No, you really actually don't. I like to go ahead and just take my, dip my whole cup, shake it, slosh it, dump it out. All right. This is not OSHA approved, but oh shoot, it works for me. Let's see. All right. Spray it, spray it, spray it, spray it, spray it, spray. Then bubble it. Ooh. dump it there. Might spritz me just a little bit more. I might turn it upside down to clean the bowl just a little bit. We want it basically clean. It ain't got to be all the way clean. All right, we got our base color. On this Vinyl Wonder, this stuff dries very quick, so I go ahead and always put the lid on it. And check my fingertips because I have grabbed vinyl before. I'm like, oh, Crafsman, you numbskull. All right, yeah, we're good. All right. All right, look at it, look at it. Very nice gray. I mean, look at that, y'all. That's just two colors. We just barely getting cooking too. I'm excited about all this. That's why I'm really making this video, because I slept on the airbrush, as the young people say. I didn't use it, man. I was scared of it, like it's gonna get clogged, whatever. Use that airbrush, please, man. Now, something extremely fun. We're going to do this little number right there. We call it the flick. We're going to take our base color and either light it or darken it, and we're going to give some little speckle variation shades and basically give like a flicked dirt appearance. Now with acrylic paints, you can do this little number right here, but with vinyl, that's just going to wear out your glove or your thumb, and you're going to be, you know, getting thinner on your skin and stuff like that. So that's why I like this little trick right there. Yeah. Now, pro tip, Crafsman likes to go ahead and load thinner into my brush before I flick my color. Look at that right there. So, you know, it may not look like much, but it's already getting some character and some little weather into it. But this right here is a little secret sauce of Crafsman. I mean, it's not like I came up with this, but take the finest sanding pad you can, and we're gonna get up against the fan that's blowing, and we're gonna ever so slightly caress and just rub. And what it's gonna do, we're not scratching the vinyl. We're taking the paint at a really fine level, and we're very lightly blending it at a dry level. And we're going to tie it all together with a gloss later, but look at the difference that makes right there. All right. Look, check this out though. Something that I like to do is to take me some of these Vinyl Wonder clear paints and go ahead and just put a glazing of clear. What it's going to do is allow the textures and colors underneath to come through, but it's going to sort of tie it together and give it kind of an aged, like it all belongs, like it's been sitting there for years, you know, kind of a patina. That's what we want. Now these clear colors have a heavy gloss in them, so you know sometimes they'll clog the brush a lot quicker, but it won't be clogged for long, because by the time you put some thinner in it. Let's see. Yeah. Da-da-da. And we all ready to add our next color. And I'm gonna put a pretty good bit of blue, because the reason why this is gonna be a very light undershading, and it's more for like the ambience lighting. Let's see. So check this out. Let me see if I can demonstrate this really quick. So I'm just going to lightly spray to the side. All right. All right. What this is kind of simulating is like sunlight bouncing up off the ground, kind of ambient bounce light is blue. If you're doing computer graphics, a bounce light blue kind of helps with realism. Let's take it inside so I can show you how it looks. Something like that right there. Look at that. We got our nice little textures. We've got a kind of a bluish bounce under there. I kind of like the way that looks. Yeah. So what else can we do? Well, we got these stencils like this. Now's a good time that I can show you how to paint yellow. Sometimes if you spray yellow, you pop it off, it's like, oh, it just looks kind of like washed out yellow. Model miniatures guys use this trick right here. Spray some pink first, and then come in with your yellow. It'll really make that yellow pop. I even like the little offset look to it. It looks really cool. All right, and for the back, I thought it would be kind of fun if we just use rattle can. Why not? My thinking is like, these industrial guys, they probably just use spray paint on the back, on the decals anyway. I don't know. All right, and so we're not done just yet. I like to really set this thing in by letting it just dry just a few, how many minutes? Just a few minutes, and then watch what we're gonna do. If you got like grab a hold of a toothpick, it might already be too dry, but oh yeah. That's one reason I like using regular spray paint for decals, is because it's not as tough as the vinyl one. I mean, it is, but it doesn't dry as fast. It's still got a little bit of some curing going on. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, we like to let it look like it's just kind of been there for a long time. Yeah, we just want to gently caress it. We weathering it in, all right? We're thinking sunlight, UV, weather, all kind of stuff. All right, so now I like to add me just a few little color pops here and there, and I like to do that with a ball tool. And I've learned from experience to just put a little bit out onto like a flat surface like this, and just kind of like, all right. And so what that'll do is, watch this. It'll keep you from dipping your ball like too far into it and then getting too much paint. See? Yeah. And we're just gonna, Crafsman is shaky, so look at me. If I'm doing this, just imagine your beautiful self, what you can be able to do. Your results would probably be a lot finer. A lot finer. Like my wife's a lot finer than me. I married up, as they say. Oh yeah. And we're just gonna let those sit for a little bit while we make a black wash. I want to make a black wash, okay? And I want to show you pretty quick and easy way. I just take me some little bit of water and some acrylic paint. I got some dark neutral gray right there. Acrylic wash, it doesn't matter quite as much because, it's just a wash. Now we could just about use it like that, but I'm gonna take some dish soap, some Dawn. Dawn takes grease out of the way. I put like a drop or maybe two. Not a lot. Don't want to use a lot of soap. Okay, this is, oh mercy. This is a surfactant. It's going to help it to evenly distribute across the surface, and then it's going to get into them crevices and creases. And if you get nervous right here thinking, I'm about to mess up every bit of this, I got some very fantastic news for you. Anything with acrylic that you put over your vinyl that you don't like, you can basically erase with isopropyl alcohol, and it won't touch the vinyl. However, if you come over this with vinyl, then it's going to erase every single bit. It'll get back down to Genesis, all the way back down to the very beginning. All right. Now, I like to take and just damp it. All right, just damp it. Let's just damp it. This is also, I might add, very relaxing doing this mess right here. So fun. So fun. All right. I think a big part of why, I'm always drawn to these washes is because it's just so much bang for your buck. I mean, look, you just come in here nonchalant and we're just kind of like, all right, letting it kind of do the work for us, okay? Now, we're not too worried about any little bubbles and stuff like that. I like to just let it sit and seep. Sit and seep. All right, just a little bitty bit. And then I damp it. And then I damp it. Damp it. I thought that was a little bit too much acrylic paint, so I just squirted me on some isopropyl and just gonna kind of rub it just a little bit. And you can even thin down your isopropyl if you don't want it to be like instantly take it off. So yeah, that just smooths it out a little bit better. All right, you can already see it's just got them color gradations, and a big secret to like realistic surfaces is multiple thin layers, okay? I do probably over a dozen layers on these things, but yeah, very fun. I know it looks like we're basically erasing our work, but I do thin washes, okay? And I do it for a reason. Like I said, it's thin layers. We building up thin layers. All right. While y'all weren't looking, I made us another little quick, my wife cut that little shape out and made me a fall thing, but look, I thought it would be nice to add a little detail on that chest part right now. But let's gloss these things. So your tendency, especially if you've ever done like auto body work and stuff, you want to be like further away, a nice even stream. With this Vinyl Wonder gloss, it's heavy bodied. I'm using a 0.3 nozzle too, so I'm gonna come in really close and I ain't even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna keep it moving, and I'm gonna turn it so I can see the surface in the light and make sure we ain't got no ripples, no runs, no crazy dimples or bumps. Yeah, just lay that stuff on and just let it build up smooth and thick. All right, it's 2 days later, and that's what they look like. We got a nice sheen. Everything's all nice and tied together. I really like the patina on these. And now for one of the extra fun parts. We get to warm up the vinyl and assemble it. And that's another major reason, like I say so many times, why I like Vinyl Wonder paint is I ain't got to worry about it scratching. Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, look at that right there. And now, this part right here is nice and cool, so it should go. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna make sure it's nice. All right. And here they are, fully assembled. I gotta say, I'm pretty tickled with these. And I want to show you, like, here's some other ones I did, just testing, playing around. Different patinas. You can do all kinds of looks with this technique right here, with these techniques. And my favorite thing, like I always say, is I wanted art style quality, art toy quality. And I'm pushing hard on that because it's fairly rigid, and it takes it a while to pop back. But look, there's no crinkling. This is like you could take it out in the yard and play with it. I wouldn't want you. I mean, you can. I wouldn't advise it. I'm not saying that like if you rub it in the sand, eventually it's gonna scratch it. But I'm very proud of this finish. And this is something that, when you do these techniques, you can feel good about selling your figures, and it's gonna last a long time. Archival pigments, the whole 9 yards. Now, Patreon supporters, I got some little extra techniques to show y'all that the Sophobia Mafia might come after me if I release it publicly. But look at this. So, like how to get the best metal finish that I've ever gotten. And it only half involves airbrush. But yeah, check that out on Patreon. But yeah, man, very excited about these. Just about like that, right there. Thank you so much for watching another one of my videos. Look, if you like this mess right here, techniques, how to, DIY, look us up on Patreon, please. That's basically why we're still making videos. Don't be afraid to clean your airbrush and paint with your airbrush and change the colors in your airbrush and try techniques, surface patinas. Yeah, I love y'all. Until next time, keep on steady crafting. All right.